The first few races of Fast Fridays have been featuring the next-gen car, but we listened to your feedback, and tonight we go old-school style racing in the Twisted Sister ARCA machine. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to an iRacing Classic, the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. My name is Ian Fisher, and I'm thrilled to be joined in the booth tonight by Joey Atterbury and Ryan Bauer, working the controls as our producer. The camera angle side are, as always, provided by Dougie Beard, and we're happy that you're joining us this evening on Maconi Entertainment. And Joey, the drivers have spoken. We're out of the next-gen car. We're here in the ARCA car, and we're at the legendarily Charlotte Motor Speedway. Most of these drivers are probably really familiar with this track, but what are some of the differences the drivers can expect making the move from the next-gen car into the ARCA car?
Yeah, the cars are quite different, Ian. You know, the next-gen cars are filled with this new technology and these cool transmissions, and hop back into these older ARCA cars and they really are a box of tubes with a body on it and with the old clunky 4-speed. But one thing is always certain is that it can get very slippery around the Charlotte Motor Speedway here, no matter what car you're in. And watching practice, that's one thing that I definitely notice is these cars are slip sliding around. And we are here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, good old mile-and-a-half oval. And if you guys are ever in the Charlotte area, it's actually in Concord, not too far away. First opened in 1960 and then had a few additions throughout the years. But one thing that's really cool, it always hosts one of the biggest races on the NASCAR schedule. And currently it's the Coke 600 Memorial Day each weekend. And it's really, really neat just to come and visit here. It's one of the best venues on the NASCAR schedule. It doesn't matter if you're racing next-gen Cup cars or ARCA cars. The action is nonstop, Ian.
Well, you kind of hit on the head too, Joey. Anytime I come to this place, I kind of feel a special little feeling. I know this is special to a lot of real-life NASCAR teams just because of the proximity to the race shops. But you come here and you've heard the name Charlotte Motor Speedway. You mentioned it, the Coke 600. You come in here as a driver and you just kind of want to win here. It's a little bit different. It's different than, say, maybe a track that, like one of the smaller ovals. This track does have a little bit of significance to it. I won't say it's at the level of like a Daytona International Speedway, but I would say it comes close.
It definitely comes very close. You know, we think of Daytona Speedway, Daytona 500, it's one of the holy grails, but if you look at where the heart and soul of NASCAR is in NASCAR country, it really is Charlotte, North Carolina, and here it is in Concord, right in its backyard. This has grown to be one of the most popular tracks, even by the fans, and definitely I would love to go and see one of these long 600-mile races here and really just kind of live in NASCAR. But to look at tonight and the race that's going to go on, we're in the ARCA cars. We're going to be doing 40 minutes or 50 laps. Probably going to be doing 50 laps here because I expect that the competitors are going to play pretty clean out there. They're only going to get one fast repair, so if you're involved in an accident, you can come down and get that damage fixed. But anything beyond that, you're going to have to carry throughout to the end of the race. And then they do have 3 green-white checkered attempts tonight, Ian, just in case things do get a little bit messy towards the end.
We go on board right now with the Mach 03 or Mach 05. There was a little bit of controversy before the race here of Jeffrey Maconi, 37 machine on your timing tower here, going through in his qualifying run. I thought it was interesting, and you kind of brought it up as well, Joey. Only one qualifying lap for these drivers, so you got to get it right the first time.
I like the difference when an administrator throws a curveball at these competitors, and I think a lot of times it just catches them out as something different. But one thing that one lap is going to do, it's going to prove that you got to be on top of your game, and if you aren't prepared for that, it's going to show in the result.
Well, and you mentioned too, these drivers, how loose they've been getting, especially on these cold tires. We see Cecil here gets up into the wall in his qualifying lap, trying to get up to speed here. You really got to nail it on that first lap. You don't have any room for error. A simple tap of the wall will invalidate your lap time. So far, David Collier Jr. has the best lap with a 37:23 right now. Rest of the field is around 30 to 32 second range here, Joey. So pretty tight grouping here on qualifying. I'm not quite sure how many cars we're actually going to get that will take a time here. It looks like we did have 57 drivers at one point or another join the session. I don't know if that means we'll see that many drivers. Obviously, we narrowed down our field to as many drivers as we take to our starting grid, but a lot of interest for this track and car combination, it seems.
Yeah, riding on board right now with the 201 machine. That's Jesse Main out there as he goes through turns 3 and 4. See if he can keep it up off the wall, carry that momentum, and complete this qualifying lap. We'll see where this puts this number 201 car, 31:26. And so that puts Jesse into the provisional 15th place right now. Looks like we got Diesel Culbrecht out there in the number 12 car. And you're right, Ian, I see 23 cars currently that have taken a qualifying time, plus maybe a few more here with about 10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and Cecil here doing a much better job with this lap here. I think what you saw getting into the wall earlier was his out lap, so he was able to come back to the pits and then get another time there once he goes through qualifying. Obviously, doesn't matter what happens at that point there, but 23 drivers to take a time, Joey, and it looks like, looking at the rest of the field here, it looks like we're going to take 32 to the feature, so keep that in mind as we go through our grid here. As we mentioned, David Collier will start on the pole in the 52 machine with a 37:23 lap time. To his outside will be Dwayne MacArthur in the 17. Sam Johnson in the 58 will be at your third spot with Aaron Raymond in the 34 rolling off fourth. Lilac Zier in fifth with Cole Goodmistad there in the sixth spot. Melissa Liguori in the 27 with Scott Patza in the 35 will make up your 7th and 8th position. Christopher Spencer in the 6th will be in 9th, and TJ Elaine, our winner from Lime Rock, but 1 week before that, will roll off 10th there, Joey.
And 11th place, we have Larson Parker. 12th, Bradley Stefan. Followed up there with Noah Carter, Adam Green, Jesse Main, who we were riding along with there, rounds out the top 15. In the number 45 machine in 16th place, we got Brian Lindsay, followed by there in the 37. I'm seeing Jeffrey Maconi in 17th place, Todd Hunter 18th, Aaron Parsons, and David Connell in the 20th spot, Ian.
In 21st, Jeff Counter in the 42, and Brandon Jenkins joined him in the 22nd position there. Jeffrey Marble in the 19 will roll off 23rd, with Robert Bears in the 54, it's 24th. 25th position will be Wes Hurd, 26th Dan Johnson, 27th Todd Robbins, 28 Elijah Brown, 29th Jordan Babinger, 30 Brendan Hirsch, and I believe we're taking these 36 cars to our feature race. Blake Lothian in the 95, William Hobart in the 13, Annabelle Valenzuela in the 40, Justin Baxter in the 8, Robert Aikens in the 7, and Luis Diaz in the 36. We do have the rest of these drivers here that may be driving, may not. I think we're only taking 36. But I do want to make sure that we didn't skip anybody here, so we'll just go through the rest of the drivers that did connect to the session. Apparently, Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros also showing up there at the end, Joey. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, no, there's, I think, just a couple stragglers that are finding their way in here as we take a look at tonight. Nice, cool evening, 76 degrees ambient and 77-degree track temperature. And being a night race here, I think those are going to stay pretty stable. Ian?
Pretty constant, yeah. I don't think we'll see much change in the track conditions as we go through the evening, especially this only being a 50-lap race, Joey. So I can kind of agree with you there. Any expectations here going into the first lap, or maybe the first 10, 15 laps here?
As with Fast Fridays, I'm expecting excitement. They're always exciting races, and this is one of the biggest fields that we've had on a Fast Friday recently, so I just want to give a holler to all of the competitors that showed up tonight, and we're expecting a great show and can't wait to call it for you all.
Yeah, and especially if you're watching at home, remember this Fast Fridays presented by Maconi Setup Shop goes on every Friday. 7 p.m. Eastern is when we start qualifying. You can join under the hosted sessions in your iRacing UI or member site, whichever you prefer. I know there's always never any controversy about whether people prefer the UI or the member site. So as the field here comes to the green flag, they'll be led to the green flag by David Coyle Jr. and Dwayne MacArthur in your front row here. So as we've mentioned before, Fast Fridays always hectic off the starts. We'll see if these drivers can manage the starts a little bit better this time. We're green flag racing here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Single file out front, but look at that pack in the midfield, Ian. I think for the top 10, it's pretty calm, but oh my gosh, we got 2 wide and 3 wide action from probably 12th place through 25th, I would call it.
Absolutely. You got to have your first 4 cars there, a little bit of a group that kind of broken out in the front of this restart here. We do have a caution here in the back, got a car on the wall. 29 was up and over for a second there. Looks like the 34 was involved as well. The 29 is going to be Joseph Burgess, and I believe the 34 of Aaron Raymond was also involved here. I'm not exactly sure what happened there at all, Joey. That happened towards the back of the pack.
Yeah, definitely towards the latter third of the pack here. We can see the 29 car on the bottom. See if anything starts in front of him. Look at that white car on the bottom try to make his way through. And ooh, looks like he kind of got ran over from behind. He was checking up for the 14 that seemed slow on the racetrack. And then I'm not sure which car that came up behind. And that was really the culprit in it all. And I think that the car that we were riding on board with just kind of an innocent bystander, Ian.
Yeah, I apologize to the 34. It was actually the 14 here. And yeah, you see the 14 there gets a little bit of loose off of 4. And trying to get back up to speed there. Yeah, just nowhere to go for the 29. And a really hard impact for them. Kind of just shot him into the side fence and then up and over. So that'll probably be, well, either you get the 1 fast repair. So not night done for the 29 yet. But you definitely don't want to use your fast repairs as early in this race as you did on lap 1 here, Joey.
Spectacular crash, shades of Ricky Bobby out there. And I know that in the movie they weren't using the NASCAR Cup cars. It really did look a little Ricky Bobby-esque, and hopefully he's got no fire on him out there.
Yes, and as you know, it's always good to have a good teammate that will put the invisible fire out for you if you do happen to be on fire. I think, Joey, that's one of the funniest lines in that movie is when Darrell Waltrip says, "That's a teammate right there," when Cal Naughton Jr. goes over and puts the invisible fire out. So I appreciate you bringing that up first so I can share that with everybody.
It is a great scene, and I hope for everybody that is a racing fan, you have seen that movie. It is well worth the watch. But right now, to take a look back at this field is the number 52 car out front. That's David Collier Jr. leading the 58 of Sam Johnson. Those are the top 2. And once we get this field reset out here, I predict we'll probably be going green on lap 6, wouldn't you say, Ian?
I would say that's a safe assessment there. Dwayne MacArthur also lost 1 spot to Sam Johnson there, so a little bit of a change up in your top 3. Aaron Raymond is in your 4th spot, and then Melissa Liguori has been able to gain 2 spots there, now finds themselves in the 5th position. So a good start there so far from the 27 up 2 spots, and going back field here, it looks like we've got 4 spots from Noah Carter, 4 spots from Adam Green. And then going back towards the field, the 27th place driver, the 38 Edward Sharp, has gained 5 spots actually from the start of the green flag. So already some drivers getting some spots early, Joey.
Definitely some movers, gummers, and goers, as they call it. And just want to plug Team 126 at all of our cautions, and just want to thank them for their support. Go follow along on Facebook. That's Team 126 Racing out there. And also just give a shout out to Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment. If you're interested in taking your game in the sim up a level, go visit www.maconisetupshop.com, and they have various subscriptions available to help you with your speed. And also this upcoming event that you're seeing on screen right now, that's on the 26th this month, Movember. This is a special event that Maconi Entertainment is putting on. 100 laps in the trucks at Daytona. Go sign up at MaconiSetupShop.com. You can find out more about that information on the website. And I'm really looking forward to that one, Ian. That should be a really exciting event that brings in a lot of money for a really good cause.
Yeah, that'll be a really good one as well. I remember back when I did work, when I was, I used to actually work in professional hockey, Joey, and we always did a lot of stuff with the Movember Foundation. So awesome to carry that over into my newfound sim racing, I guess you could say career, hobby, job, sometimes, I don't know. I also, if you go scroll back a few seconds there, if you want to scan that QR code, that'll also take you to all the information for our Movember event, and then also you could donate there as well. So the pace car will dive on the safety of pit road here. A single file restart To get us back to racing here from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, it'll be David Collier Jr. with the field, and the green flag is out. We already have Calamity behind him. The 177's around, and just cars now piling in, Joey, just nowhere to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't even make it to the start finish, and trust me, this happens in real racing too. I've been on the pit box watching my car not even make it to the green flag, and oftentimes this happens because of an accordion effect where one car tries to maybe jump the rest of the field, and a big stack up happens like an accordion. It can stretch out really long, but it can also compress really short, and it looks like I'm trying to grab the car numbers there that really started it all, but it looked like about 3 cars were stopped in what is the chicane for the road course there. And yeah, maybe the 777 down there, the green car was involved, as well as the red of the 201 is what I'm seeing. And once that turnaround happened, all of these cars behind them, they just had nowhere to go and they couldn't see it.
Well, I think you mentioned it, Joey. A combination of wheel spin and then also the accordion effect as well will bring out the team 126 caution again here for the second time this evening. And you saw we tried to use the single file restart to kind of rein the field in a little bit there. And even with that, you can see how difficult these restarts are in this ARCA car. I mean, really, as a driver, you should be able to handle that. But these ARCA cars, they have a little bit of wheel spin to them. It can be difficult to get them back up to speed.
It can be difficult to get them back up to speed. And if these competitors are more used to the Cup cars that we've been racing here on Fast Friday, that's definitely going to be more of a dance. These tires don't respond as quickly. The cars definitely don't respond as quickly. And got to get used to it, especially on a restart when you're on the scrubbed tires, not the brand new stuff. A lot of wheel spin comes into play, like you were mentioning.
Well, and you got so many things to focus on in a restart like that too, as well. You know, you're watching for the green flag, you're listening to your spotter, you're making sure you're in the right gear and everything like that. So a lot of things could go wrong, and you just get antsy and just gas the throttle when you go back to green flag racing here. And take a look on the back bumper here of our leader. No problems for him so far. All 7 laps he's led. He started first. He stayed in first, and he's gone no lower than first, Joey. But we'll see if he's going to be able to hang on here as we go back to green flag racing this time.
We will see if he can hang on, but he's going to have to battle the pace car for the lap lead count right now, because I think that pace car does have the edge right now. But I think Barney, the flagman, is going to change all that for our leader, David Collier Jr.
I think the pace car might actually have the most laps led on the season for Fast Fridays, Joey. So you're not wrong there as well. It's been a fantastic year for the iRacing pace car here, and we'll see him make the sharp left turn onto pit road. And again, David Collier Jr. will have the field in hand here. So we'll go back to green flag racing again. A single file restart here. A few drivers finding their spot back in the rear of the field there. And a little bit better of a restart here as we go back to green flag racing again from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Looks like most of your field able to get through here pretty cleanly. Nobody's decided to go side-by-side racing yet towards the front of the field. It looks like for about 10th position, you got 2 drivers there, but all these drivers, I think, trying to get into a little bit of a rhythm here, Joey.
They are trying to get into a rhythm. They haven't made very many green flag laps yet, and we're looking at the number 8 car on the screen, which is actually the 34 on timing and scoring, as we might have a battle for the lead. It looks like Sam Johnson in the 58 really is trying to poke the nose down below our leader right now. Wasn't able to get the pass done coming out of turn 4, but that's something that we're really going to have to watch, is the search for the clean air. And it looks like the bottom of the racetrack right now is providing the superior line, as it looks like they're going to go battling side by side into turn 3, Ian.
Side by side into turn 3 there. It's a battle for the lead, and I'll cheat here a little bit, Joey. I watched the race in the exact same conditions, the exact same configuration as this about a month and a half ago, and to give a little bit of the insight to you drivers and viewers watching at home, it's going to be about a single lap battle around the bottom there, and tire wear will be a factor, as we do have a caution here across the front stretch. A few cars spinning, so the yellow will come out here. We'll see what happens. We were on board again there with Aaron Raymond there. You see the 99 machine is around. That's the 29 in your timing and scoring. They'll tow back to pit road. Not sure if they have a fast repair yet or not, Joey.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check to see What caused all of this is we're looking at the replay following the number 99 car out of 4, gets up into the wall. Big old tank slapper, and ooh,
Ooh.
that is a head-on impact, and then everyone else is just kind of collected in the calamity of the mess there. And I think that's the number 29 car that we saw earlier. We're going to see Joseph Burgess here as we ride along. He's going to have nowhere to go. Here's the wreck happening in front of him, and then all of a sudden he's going to have a car in his lap.
Oh man, and that's just the worst feeling as well, too, Joey. When you're coming off the turn like that, and the driver in front of you is just—they're trying to save it, and you want them to save it. I mean, you don't wish ill intent on any drivers around you, but it's just the worst when you see them going back and forth with the tank slapper, and then just right in front of your nose, like you mentioned, and you have absolutely nowhere to go.
You've got nowhere to go. And I think one of the big differences in the sim versus real life is it actually looks like we might have a couple takers down pit road. Not very many, but a couple.
Big damage, if anything, there, but
I think
continue.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to wrecks, we often try to get through them, and we have to try to get through them as best we can. And in oval racing, specifically NASCAR, that can mean accelerating through the wreck. But I think one thing that gets lost in the sim is the safety aspect, because we got a reset button. It's always easier to put the throttle down than to lift off and slow down for an upcoming accident.
Yeah, and it's fine. You're not bringing up some C-fixed PTSD for me or anything right now, Joey, as we will go back to green flag racing. This time by going back to a double file restart, and you saw that battle between Johnson and Collier there. That was developing. Johnson was able to beat out Collier there at the moment of caution, so he will be in your shotgun seat, I'm sorry, your pole position seat here, going back to green flag racing action here as well. So we're going to get another shot at a double file restart here, and these drivers have had a few laps on their tires there to warm them up a little bit as we get a nice overhead blimp view here of the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. They've been able to warm the tires up a little bit. They've been able to go at a green flag pace here for a few laps. I think they can handle this double file restart, Joey, but it's been calamity so far.
It has been calamity, and all these competitors are now on even older tires, which makes this acceleration zone even more crucial. We'll see if they can all handle it with a egg under the throttle, is what I call it. And keep your eye on Aaron Raymond out there. He was very aggressive last restart, as it looks like we've got a green flag on the racetrack.
And you mentioned it there, Aaron Raymond again able to get out to a fantastic launch, and really it's the launch off the drop of the green flag that has been the advantage for him right now. He'll be able to dive to the inside in turn one and take the position away from Dwayne McCarver and David Collier Jr. there. So a nice jump there by the 34, the 8 on your timing and scoring. I'm sorry, the 8 on your screen there, the homage to the Dale Jr. paint. Now the 17 to Dwayne McCarver will look to the inside. They'll go side by side here for 3 and 4, Joey.
I think we saw how close it can get out there racing at Charlotte. These cars seem to float around a little bit, especially with how fast they're going out there. We can take a look. They're doing 182 miles an hour going down into turn one in this big pack of a draft right here. And with the minimum downforce that these cars have, that means that they wiggle around a lot. And it looks like we've got a battle for our lead with Aaron Raymond taking a look down the inside of Sam Johnson.
Well, there's these two cars, Joey, but there's also about, I would say, 6 to 7 cars here within a second of the lead right now, and I would say actually make that about 10 cars within a second of the lead right now. We've got a huge wreck behind the leaders here, again, at the end of our field here. Looks like multiple cars involved. I don't know what it is with the tri-oval today, Joey. It seems to be giving these drivers a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like the number 7 car is pretty worse off in this wreck. It looks like he just hit the toe back to pit road. I think that he was kind of in the middle of it all, as we'll get a replay of what happened again here on board with that number 7 car. This is Robert Atkins, and it looks like it develops in front of him, and once again, nowhere to go, and cars bouncing up over the catch fencing. Is that what I saw?
Possibly. The car's not there anymore, and usually that's what happens when a car goes over the catch fencing at iRacing. It just disappears and automatically resets back to the pits. You see there the 84 was involved as well. That's Ed Gobick there. And let's see what happens here from his perspective, because he was kind of on his own and then he was down spinning. Oh, I see there. He gets a little bit loose coming off the corner, and then it looks like behind him 2 other cars getting loose there as well, Joey. But I really don't think that was the same incident. I think those were 2 separate incidents there that happened.
That was definitely two separate incidents we were riding on board with there, and it's funny, we've seen a couple cars really get loose out of four, and I think that's exactly what happened here as well with that
Oh
Coors
my
machine
goodness.
down there. I told you that catch fencing saved that blue car there, and impressive, impressive crash here. We're gonna ride on
Oh,
board
this will be good.
Ron Robbins. This is the number 55 car that ends up going flying. We're gonna see it all develop right here in front of him, and then kaboom, airborne he goes.
My goodness, it's like the super tank slapper. I don't see how the combination of those two cars coming together like that, Joey, leads to a car flipping over. But yeah, we've seen some interesting, you mentioned Ricky Bobby-esque wrecks tonight here, especially across the trial from Charlotte.
I'm waiting to see the Fig Newton sticker on one of these windshields, but want to give a shout out once again to Team 126 under this caution flag here. Just go ahead, go follow them, go see what they're up to on Facebook. Thank you for Team 126 and their support with everything that they do here on Maconi Entertainment. I know that we're getting back going for this restart, Ian. You think that we're going to have a longer green flag run this time, or are we going to see some more Fast Friday and Furious action?
It's kind of comical. So a funny personal story for me, Joey. I grew up in Auburn, California. We had a motorcycle flat track scene called Fast Fridays, and it was very much like this. It was just chaos, wall-to-wall racing, a lot of calamity. One of my friends was an EMS that used to work there, and just the stories he used to tell us, all his kids, because that's what you did back then, was you told people horrible medical stories. Anyways, it's good to see that the spirit of Fast Fridays continues on in Fast Fridays, presented by Maconi Setup Shop here. We'll go back to green flag racing. Aaron Raymond's been so good on the restarts. You can see that right now, getting out to about a 3 or 4 car length advantage over the rest of the field, but it's going to be side by side back through the rest of the pack right now. MacArthur and Coilier will go side by side for second position here, and behind him, Melissa Ligoria will file in there with trouble from Christopher Spencer of the 6 machine as well. We go on board here with Jeff Maconi riding on board in either the Mach 03 or the Mach 05 machine. We'll have to confirm for sure what number he's running here with the VR setup. Joey, I got to be honest, I'm a little bit jealous of Jeff's setup here.
And if you're jealous now, just wait for another couple weeks. He was showing me some pictures of his brand new sim rig that he's got coming, and it is extremely impressive. But one thing that he shares that I've got the same equipment with is that G2 headset, that virtual reality headset. And for all of you wondering what that's like, it's just like putting on the helmet and strapping in the race car. When you put that virtual reality headset on, and you open up your eyes, you're all of a sudden transformed to inside the race car. You can look at all of the buttons and switches. Most importantly, you can look to the left or right when you're racing, so that spatial awareness of where cars are and where other competitors are is really an advantage out there. And Jeffrey Maconi is putting that to use right now. He's made his way all the way up into the top 10. As we see side by side, 3 wide in front of him for 7th place. He's going to get by 2 cars there as they're up in the wall there.
Yeah, we had 2 cars up in the wall, falling back, losing positions now. I believe one is TJ Lane. I believe the other is David Collier Jr. And the only reason I'm guessing that is because of the drivers falling dramatically through our timing and scoring tower right now. We're to stay on board with Jeffrey Maconi here. And hey, props, he also has the helmet as well. That's a lot of commitment there to the whole speed racer getup.
It is a big commitment to it, but I'm really impressed with Maconi's drive right now. We're used to seeing him have kind of a chutes and ladders and be there at the end, but he's putting together a really impressive drive right now, all the way up into the 9th place, and we'll see what he can do with the rest of this race as we're just now really approaching the halfway mark. Not even there yet, Ian.
Yeah, still got a couple more laps there to lap 25, which will be the halfway point of this race. Also got about 15 minutes left in the session as well, if our timing and scoring clock is right here, according to the ATVO. So we mentioned we might be getting close to that time limit here if they have a long green flag run. And as I say it there, you've got one car hard up into the wall. Looks like just the single car with damage right now. I'm not entirely sure what caused that there. That's the 808 of Brandon Jenkins. A lot of damage there on that machine. I'm not sure if he's taken his fast repair yet. Hope for his sake that he hasn't. We'll see what caused this here, Joey.
Yeah, we'll get a replay here. The 808 machine. That's Brandon Jenkins on your screen. I just saw a couple cars. Ooh, looks like the
Oh, yeah.
45 certainly got into him. And I didn't catch the car on the high side, but that was just an innocent bystander. Certainly looked like the 45 just rolled more apex speed through the middle of the corner. And I don't know if the 808 had a problem or maybe the 45 just had a tremendous run on him.
That's the good paint right there. I don't know if you noticed what that is right there, Joey, but that's the Jeff Gordon's T-Rex paint. That car's not even supposed to be here right now.
Might not supposed to be here, but it is doing T-Rex things, eating the competition, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely got him right now. And anybody watching along at home, if they don't know the story of that, the T-Rex car came to an all-star race one year, and Jeff Gordon drove it, and it absolutely destroyed the competition. And NASCAR basically said, "How about you never bring that car back to the track again?" But that little bit of shenanigans there from the T-Rex machine will bring out our team 126 caution once again, and I have to give them a shout out, Joey. They really picked the prime sponsor, I will say, of the series. They get mentioned a lot here as we watch the race off of pit road.
Whoever's in charge of their social marketing did a great job picking the Fast Friday event for the maximum amount of exposure. And something I noticed, the majority of the field came down for 4 fresh tires, but there was 2 cars that stayed out on the racetrack. I believe that's the 42 of Jeff Counter and also the 30 of Ronnie Upchurch. We haven't mentioned these 2 cars much today, but older tires. We're halfway through the race. What do you think about this strategy call, Ian?
Well, this is a little interesting as well, because if you remember, the 42 of Jeff Counter was the car that was caught up in our last incident there. Was the car that the 808 actually spun up into. You can actually see the damage on the left-hand side there, right between the 4 and the 2 on the 42 on that car right there. So honestly, I'm a little bit more interested in staying out because we know how important damage is here at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, but he'll lead the field back to green flag racing here. Going to be lap 25. So the halfway point here as Barney the Flagman waves the green flag once again from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway.
These cars will accelerate up to speed here as Barney does a terrific job with that green flag. Looking at the 03 here of Jeff Maconi, battle it out with the Aaron Raymond. That's the 8 on the screen. That's a little bit further back in the field. I'm sorry, that is for what looks to be 5th place right here. Give credit to where credit is due. Jeff Maconi marching his way up through the field right now. He's working that high side. We see how close he got up to that wall right there. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Don't get too close up there.
Well, you heard of how much he had to get out of the throttle here, and that's going to allow the 17 of MacArthur to get underneath him on the inside here as they head into turn 1. The one advantage to the high side line that Maconi is running here, if he's able to make it stick, you see how great of a run here he gets going down the backstretch, able to pass MacArthur, and almost trying to get Upchurch here, just making the rest of the move on him now. Now he will clear Upchurch. But back at the front of your field, no surprise, Aaron Raymond, the master of the restarts so far this evening, was able to get past those 2 dryers.
We got to spin off 4.
Oh, we do. 90 involved, 51 involved as well. Cole Gooseman just said, and the 90 of Lilac Zier. You got other cars heading into turn 1, and we'll see what caused this one, Joey.
Yeah, it looks like a handful of cars off of 4. And I'm not sure exactly what caused this here. We're getting this replay from our expert producer, the bearded sim racer behind the scenes here. Just looking to see, oh, looks like maybe it was the 51. Is that what I'm reading right? And I think he just got a little bit of right rear contact and up into the wall and collected quite a few cars. Look at the black car on the bottom. That's the 51. And yeah, just like looks like there was 3 wide and he thought it was 2 wide and just a little bit of contact collected a few cars, Ian.
In their defense too, as well, the 83 Culver's machine that kind of snuck in at the very last second. So Noah C. Carter getting in the middle there, it probably thought he was clear, to be completely honest with you, Joey, and you see how quick those lanes can disappear, and especially just in a horrible position to be there coming off of the corner into the tri-oval, because you have to make that immediate left-hand turn again. You're kind of pinned down there in the bottom line.
You are pinned down, and the best way I can kind of describe this, it's like a funnel. You know, and a funnel always starts out wide, but it ends narrow. And when you're in the middle of the corner, there's all this racing room and space, and you can see, oh, well, yeah, there's room for 3 wide up there. But as you come up off of the corner, the racetrack really narrows down, and that's where that funnel continues to compress. And all of a sudden, where there was room for 4 cars, now there's only room for 2, and you realize you're in trouble.
Yeah, the Ralph Wiggum "I'm in danger" meme comes to mind when you're getting rolling off a four there, and you know you're stuck to the bottom with 3 wide, especially here at Charlotte. Maybe even Atlanta comes to mind. Not so much of the new configuration, a lot more room there, but definitely Texas as well. Even a place like Vegas, easy to get pinned down there on the bottom line.
It is, and while we are under this yellow flag, once again, great job with the marketing. Team 126, give them a holler and then go check them out on Facebook. See what they're up to. Give them a like, give them a follow. Thank you for your support for the Maconi Entertainment and everything that you do to help this show. Also want to mention this upcoming event on Saturday night, the 26th. That's Movember. It's going to be a 100-lap race with the trucks at Daytona, and really, guys, this is for a great cause. It's going to be a minimum donation of $10, but all of the entry fees support Movember. You can actually scan that little QR code on your screen right now to figure out more about the event and everything going on. And really great cause for that one. Should be a fantastic race, and I'm looking forward to it, Ian, and I know you are too.
That'll be a good one for sure. Yeah, the 2022 Saturday for the boys. Going to be here live on Maconi Entertainment as well, presented by Maconi Competitive Zone as well. So really good to see that Maconi Setup Shop, Jeff Maconi, personally, all of us here at Maconi Entertainment and all of the Maconi umbrella corporation, not like from what is it? Is it Resident Evil? What's the umbrella corporation from?
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyways,
It is Resident Evil, yes.
yes, but not like that. But anyways, good to see Jeff Maconi getting out there and trying to make a difference there in men's cancers. Really good to see as well. Back to a double file restart here. As we go back to racing from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, Aaron Raymond has the field in hand, and we'll see if he's able to get off to a great start like he did earlier. And we're taking a look at the clock here, Joey. It's getting down to about 11 minutes, so these drivers want to get a green flag run in if they want to finish this race under the lap count. We're back to green flag racing now. You can see how much our field has been thinned out just from drivers having to retire due to damage, and we'll see what can happen here in the final 21 laps.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Our field has definitely thinned out, but one thing that hasn't changed is that number 8 on the screen. It's actually number 34 on timing and scoring. That's Aaron Raymond. He's been one of the fastest cars all night. He continues to get a great jump on the field on that restart. Looking at what looks to be the 79 car, that's Larson Parker right now, taking a peek up the number 9 of TJ Elaine. Has to kind of think again about that position, but good to see a full green flag lap go on between all of these competitors, as it looks like we got a car scraping the wall up in turn 1, but he'll stay straight and pointed and continue on.
The 28 of Cole Kitchen there in the throwback to the Bill Elliott scheme there. And that's kind of the opposite of what we saw that brought out the last caution there. Joey, one driver pinned down to the bottom of 4 there. We saw the caution come out. That time it was the driver pinned to the top of 3 wide there going into 1. And it's such a hard place to be in right there as well, because you try to bail out, but the wall's right there. Kind of sucks you into it like we saw there.
It can definitely suck you into it. And we talked about the funnels coming off of the corner. The funnels can happen going into the corner too, but it more than often than not spits you out right there as we're riding on board here with Cole Goomstead. Gonna take the high line. Oh, both cars, the 42 and the 51, up in the wall, and it looks like Cole is actually going to have one of these huge tank slappers down the front straightaway. How he didn't lose that, I'm not sure, but we've got a battle for second place right now. I was noticing that number 6, Christopher Spencer, on our last green flag run, was really showing some speed out there, and it looks like he's going to battle it out for second place right now.
Yeah, and I think even All the judges there gave Cole Goomstead a 10 there for that save. The tank slapper coming off of 4 there. That was pretty impressive, Joey. A great job there to keep all 4 wheels on that machine pointed forward and not bring out another caution flag presented by Team 126 Racing. Back towards the front of your field here, we now go on board with TJ Lane. He's trying to track down the 19 car. In front of him right now, that is Jeffrey Marble, and that's for the 4th position. But you look back there, Larson Parker right to the inside of the bumper. So this is a 3-way battle for position right here, Joey, coming off of 4.
Coming off of 4, these cars are finally playing nice, and it looks like they've got a little bit of a rhythm, but I'm not going to hold my breath too much here. These cars certainly seem to be moving around a lot on top of the racetrack, and I know I saw the speeds earlier were over 180 miles an hour, which is hauling the mail around even the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, especially in a car with such low downforce.
It's such low downforce, so we've already seen how much tire wear has been a factor in this race so far. Most of these drivers have about 11 laps on this set of tires they have on their machines right now. So tire wear definitely going to be a factor as the farther and farther we go into this race right now. This is about a 4-way battle for about 4th place right now that you have on your screen here. You see the top 3 positions there, single file, and it's about 4th on back for, I would say, call it 8th here, battling for a position. This battle's been going on for a few laps, Joey.
It has been going on for a few laps. They're finally going to make it single file out of turn 4, but that's without a big shove to the 79 there. Almost gets them all the way upset. And you see the 9 actually gets into the back of the 19 right there. I think the 19 maybe just lifted a little bit. Maybe he just got loose going into turn 1, and unfortunately the 9 was right on his rear bumper there. That's at least what I saw from the live action. We do have a yellow flag on the racetrack because of that incident. We'll take a look at this replay, but he was tucked up right underneath the back of this 19 car headed into 1, and it could have been a combination. Maybe the 19 got a little bit loose. Maybe the 9 was trying to find his way around, but it ended up with the 19 in the wall.
Well, you've seen the run the driver's been able to get to the high side too there as well, Joe, and he wasn't all the way clear of that car. We'll see it here as we look on board from the back position there. And I think, yeah, just getting that run. The real hit there was to the 79 of Larson Parker. He had nowhere to go in that situation. And kind of interesting, we watched up before that. It was really Bradley Stefane in the 89 and then Larson Parker in the 79 that were giving each other the business there as we watch here from a few positions back. And then, yep, just a little bit too hard into the corner there for TJ Lane, right to the back of the back bumper. Really easy to lift these tires up on the ARCA car, Joey, and I think that's what we saw there.
Yeah, definitely easy to lift the tires up, and you know, that's not all on these competitors. It's a little bit more on the damage model that is here on iRacing, as it looks like, Ian, we might have a bit of a strategy call with the session winding down. We got laps winding down, and it looks like the back half of this field is coming down to pit road, maybe to fix some damage, but I'm gonna guess for some new tires and maybe try to get some speed out there on the racetrack.
No, I think this is a great call, and you see it there from about 8th on back till 14th. All those drivers that started the pit, you even have Gumstead there in the 16th position, and then Green's in the 20th position on pit road as well. Those might be damage repairs that we're seeing there, but I think a lot of these drivers, Coilier, Zier, Counter, Maconi, Marble, Meadows, Kitchen, I believe all of them came down and got 4 fresh tires. I think you're correct, Joey. That should be interesting here. I think 12 laps, I would say probably going back to green flag racing this time. Just enough laps for that to make an advantage, I would say.
I think so. I think the first car on fresh tires is an 8th place currently on timing scoring. That is the number 52 of David Collier Jr. If you remember, he was one of our front runners earlier in the night, but Aaron Raymond in that red number 8 car on screen has really been up at the front and controlled this entire race. The restart's going to be really important right here. We're only working about 5 minutes left in this session, going to have 11 laps to go, so it's going to be a battle of the clock or the lap counter.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, about 6 minutes to go here in our session, Joey. We're going to get right down to the wire pretty much either way, making it exciting here, getting all the time and all the laps worth here. Past Fridays, Maconi Entertainment back to green flag racing from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Again, Aaron Raymond able to get an excellent launch even with the older tires here, but we'll see if the tires are an advantage with the final 11 laps here, Joey.
I think they will be, but they've got to get at least a little bit of a rhythm going before they're going to become an advantage here. At least against these front runners, is I think the 45 scrapes the wall coming out of turn 2, but keeps it going. And right now, Aaron Raymond, once again, in control of the front of the field. I'm seeing that number 17 of Dwayne MacArthur also enter the picture, but look at that number 6 car, Christopher Spencer, with a run coming up the high side. He's going to take it too wide into turn 1. We've really seen the momentum carry these cars around the top side as long as they can keep it off of the wall there. Big wiggle out of the 6 car, but once again, side by side, down into turn 3. This battle for second place rages on right now. I think the number 6 car is going to be able to capitalize on the momentum out of turn 4, but no, Ian, the 17 hangs tough on the bottom.
Well, going back to that race that I mentioned earlier that I watched with the ARCA cars here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on the sim a few months ago, I saw this as well, side-by-side racing for laps and laps and laps at a time. And what it did here is if those drivers didn't get single file like they did right here, Joey, is to let the rest of the field kind of catch up to them. It actually ended up costing the race leader at the time the win was because he went side by side for so many laps with drivers here. Not only does it slow your lap times down in general, it's going to use up more of your tires. So any of these drivers up here at the front, you can already see Maconi there in the 6th position making a lot of hay here with those new tires. I really think that was the call to come down this most recent caution and get 4 fresh tires if you could.
Yeah, look at the number 6 car right now, battling our leader, Aaron Raymond, charging into turn 3 right now. Certainly, Christopher Spencer has the speed at the end of this run. We're going to be coming to 7 laps to go. And yeah, certainly look at this momentum off the high side. He's going to take a look around the outside of our leader, get squeezed all the way up there. But the number 6 car seems to be comfortable running the top of this racetrack. And he's going to breeze right around our leader, Aaron Raymond, on the top side. And we've got a new leader, number 6
Oh,
car.
Maconi got into the 9 back there. Maconi got into the 9, turned him around. We'll see if it involves anybody else in the rest of the field. That's the 9 of TJ Lane. Maconi going down the backstretch there. I don't know if he got the run or something happened to the 9 car, but they were involved. We'll get on a look at it here in just a few seconds. I'm not sure if there's any damage to the Maconi machine here, and we'll see what happened. It looks like the 9 maybe gets loose here, or...
No, it just looks like what you talked about, Ian. These bumpers don't line up very well. And remember, the number 52 and also Jeff Maconi were on fresh tires. And look at this run that Jeff Maconi has right here. We're going to ride on board, and he's just going to simply try to bump draft the number 9 car, but his car goes underneath that bumper and picks up the 9. I know that Jeff Maconi meant nothing malicious by that. He was just trying to help push his way up to the front, and man, disaster struck.
Yeah, I'm trying to see there if there's any damage to Maconi's machine. Doesn't seem like there's much. You see a couple leaders there fake to pit road. Now we will see a few cars actually come down this time by. I'm not sure if those are the drivers involved, Joey, or if we're going to see another set of tire changes here. This does make things a little bit more interesting, though. I still will say this plays into the favor more of the cars actually that stayed out at this point. As you see now, Spencer was able to make that pass for position on Aaron Raymond before the yellow flag came out, so he'll actually inherit the lead here and hold the lead going into this next restart.
Yeah, he'll hold the lead, and we are running out of time right now on our session timer. We're about 1 minute right now till it ends, and I know that the admins are well aware of it. They have sped up this restart right now, hoping to get maybe 1 lap of green flag action to end this race. One more shout out under a final yellow flag to Team 126 under this caution. Go give them a follow on Facebook and see what shenanigans they are up to, and thank you for the support on all of these Maconi Entertainment events. Ian, set the picture for us right now. We're running out of time, running out of laps. What are you telling your driver, Aaron Raymond, on the outside, who just got overtaken for the lead?
Well, I think this is very similar to a situation where you see drivers in a rain delay. This is almost kind of a pseudo rain delay that we have here. Let's just imagine the rain is coming in 2 minutes and 38 seconds, and we're gonna find out what happens here if these drivers are get all the way to the end. The lap times here are about 32 seconds here with the race pace. So able to get a few more laps here in as we get back to green flag racing. I just don't know how many, Joey.
Yeah, we got disaster on the front straightaway, but thankfully the green flag continues on right now. This is one lap to go right now. Christopher Spencer in the sixth, battling it out with Aaron Raymond. I got my eye on that white number 52 car. He's got fresh tires. They're battling it side by side down into turn three, Ian.
Side by side go the leaders here. The six gets a little bit loose, washes up the racetrack. That's allows Aaron Raymond in the 34, the 8 on your screen, to get the slightest of advantages here. And I think that'll be enough as he comes to the checkered flag. He'll win Fast Fridays at Charlotte.
What a restart by that number 34, the red 8 machine on the screen. Aaron Raymond, our winner. He started up on the top side and he was able to carry that momentum, fend off several cars that were coming out. And I actually want to take a look at this replay of the finish. Congratulations, Aaron Raymond. Jeff Maconi was right in the thick of things. I actually think that he thought about taking the Charlotte road course chicane section is what it looked like he was trying to make some room for down off of turn 4. As we take a look at our race winner, hopefully he burns it down right here. This is the best part about winning, Ian.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I never get to do burnouts, but this driver will get to do burnouts, and that's going to be the 8 on your screen. But the 34 of Aaron Raymond, he's going to take it to victory lane this evening. And I think, Joey, if those drivers that had the fresh tires had maybe 2 or 3 more laps, I do believe Aaron Raymond was a sitting duck. But you race what you're given. You don't race based on what may happen, what could happen. And that was a good example of what we saw here tonight. Aaron Raymond just able to take that final restart, hang on here to the outside line. You'll see the 6 here. He does wash up just the tiniest bit. You'll see his rear end there kind of lift out. A little bit of contact there with the 8 will draft him up the racetrack. And that's all he needed there to get the run on the outside here. You'll see the side draft there coming down side by side. And you mentioned it, those drivers with fresh tires, they were right there if we had a couple more laps of this race. Again, the 6 gets loose coming out of 4 there. And that's going to be just enough for the 8 machine, the 34 of Aaron Raymond, to come and collect, I believe, his first checkered flag here on Fast Fridays. But definitely a great restart there, and just a good job hanging on to it, Joey.
Absolutely. We're going to get a look at our finishing results here. That is Aaron Raymond taking home the win tonight. Impressive restart, really, by the entire top 5 here. Christopher Spencer and David Collier Jr. were side by side at the line. Ian, look at that. Only 2 100ths of a second separate second and third place right there. Dwayne MacArthur in fourth. Jeffrey Maconi bringing home the top 5 here on Fast Friday. Jeffrey Marble, Lilac Zier, TJ Elaine, Cole Kitchen, and Larson Parker round out the top 10. Ian.
11th position was the 15th of Chad Meadows. Noel C. Carter in the 83 will be 12th. Bradley Stefan in the 89, 13th. The rest of your drivers from here on down have finished at least 3 laps down. That's Jeff Counter in the 42. Brian Lindsay in the 45 will finish 15th. 16th will be the 51 of Cole Gumstead. The 17th, the 777 of Adam Green. 18th, the 30 of Ronnie Church. 19th, the 808 of Bob Jenkins. And Jesse May in the 201 will round out your top 20, Joey.
Yeah, then all of these cars were several lap downs as we saw the field really thinned out. Melissa Ligori, Edward Sharp, Sam Johnson, Scott Patza, Ed Gubick, Robert Atkins, David Connell. Todd Robbins, Todd Hunter, and Aaron Parsons back there. I know that we had quite a few cars really enter this session, and it was impressive to see the turnout here on Fast Friday. Ian, I really loved seeing all of these cars out here, and I actually think it looks like we've got our winner in the booth standing with you.
Well, your winner tonight, Aaron Raymond. And Aaron, talk us through that final restart. You were so good at restarts all night long, able to get the jump. Were you worried there with those drivers behind you on fresh tires, or you knew you had something for them the whole time?
No, when the 6 got past me there and the caution came out, I thought it was done. And on the restart, I just sent it as hard as I could, tried not to wreck, and yep, walked out.
And you mentioned it, that move to the outside there. The eight did actually, I'm sorry, the six did get a little bit loose there on the inside. It did get up into you a little bit. Did you feel that at all, or were you just going for the checkered flag at that point?
I think that might have been a little bit of net code because I didn't feel anything, but I was also pinching them down probably a little bit more than I should have.
Well, we saw the side draft coming down the backstretch, and really that gave you the push that you needed to get into that position to give you the victory. Anybody that you want to shout out that helps you get to victory lane this evening?
Uh, well, I got my mom and my dad. Um, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have iRacing, or at least as much stuff on it as I do.
Well, always good to shout out mom and dad, Joey. I know I always try to do that as much as I possibly can. And Aaron, appreciate you coming up here and spending some of your time with us. Go celebrate with the team, and we'll get a word here with our second place finisher. This be Christopher Spencer, and he's hanging out there with Joey right now.
Yeah, I've got Christopher Spencer. Impressive run out there. We really saw you charge to the front in the last half of the race. And what was it that you needed to maybe squeak out one more tenth of a second to take home the win tonight?
Uh, for it to stay green. I feel pretty good. Car was actually really good. You can go anywhere on the track and move around and pass, and just needed a long green flag run. Long runs are my strength, and just unfortunately got a caution at the wrong time.
Well, we were very impressed at the racing that you guys were putting on at the front of the field. And yeah, you mentioned it, a green flag run, and it certainly seemed to help work your way forward there. Looking at the final restart with just one lap, were you worried at all about the cars on fresh tires behind you?
Not really. I felt like once you got out front, it was just once you're in traffic, it's so hard to pass. But once you're out front and that clean air, you can hold your own pretty good. I um I think if we would have had another probably 10 laps there, those guys on fresh tires probably would have made a quick work of us after about 5 or so laps. But other than that, I once I got out front up there, it felt pretty decent. You could pretty hold your own. You can go anywhere if you needed to defend. So pretty strong car overall.
Well, Christopher, it was great watching you race out here on the Fast Friday. Congratulations on the second place tonight. Is there anybody that you want to say thank you to, give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh yeah, just for inviting me to the race, or letting having an open room for people to join. That was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that. I'd like to thank my team, Smoke Show Racing, SRTV Network, and my whole team.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that second place. Hope to see you at future Fast Friday events. And I believe that Ian is now standing by with our final podium finisher, David Collier Jr.
Yeah, we'll get David up here in the booth to come talk with us. And David, we were talking about your third place finish, but you were up front for a good majority of this race. What happened there to get you guys back in that eight ball where you're battling for the third spot?
Looks like David might be on mute right now.
We'll see here. Going with we're going with the satellite feed down to the pit road there, so we might have had a little bit of an issue there. But I know who we can bring up. We could bring up our fearless leader here, Jeff Maconi. And Jeff, what happened there coming down the backstretch? It looks like you just turned somebody.
Yeah, we were going down. I was watching David on the inside, and then I saw in front of me that I had enough room, and I'm like, okay, so he's going to leave me enough space. And then I was like looking down, watching David to see how much of a run I was going to get, and I looked up, and he was in front of me, and I just lifted him and took off, and yeah, that was on me. That was my bad, but it be how it are. I'll send TJ an apology. But yeah, I gotta thank everyone here, Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Entertainment, Bruzy Racewear. I want to make sure I include everyone, WSMN Broadcasting, 1590, WSMN 1590.live, Around the Snack Guide, the Sim Racer movie, and that's everything.
Well, ribbing aside, Jeff, I actually do want to talk to you a little bit about your decision to take tires late in the race with about 10 laps to go. I did think that was going to pay off for you. How are the tires feeling? How are the fresh ones feeling there as the laps winded down?
If it were green to the end, I would have won it. Basically, if I hadn't been an idiot and wrecked someone, I would have won it. But, it be how it are. So, but yeah, the new tires felt great. I was in Discord with Dave when we were talking, and I actually meant to take 2 tires and loosen it up because I was miserably tight with the way I was driving it, and so was he. And then I got in the box, and it took the right sides, and I put me down and started taking the left sides, and I couldn't click off in time. So I was like, okay, well now I got 4 tires, and just sent it, but it was fun. That was a lot of fun. I know the tires burn off quick on the ARCA cars, so I knew I needed something, and that's what it was.
Well, 4 tires was able to get up to you, but unfortunately, in the end, it was an incident that you caused that took you out of position. That was Jeff Maconi there. Ends up finishing 5th place there. And we love giving Jeff a hard time anytime he comes into the interview booth. But we really do appreciate him here coming and putting on Fast Fridays here, presented by Maconi Setup Shop. And on behalf of all of us here at Maconi Entertainment, myself, Joey Attenberry, the booth, Brian Bauer, our producer, Team 156 Racing, sponsor of the cautions. Team 126 is sponsor of the cautions. Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Competizione, Maconi Entertainment, Jeff Maconi, everybody, William Hale, everybody at Maconi Entertainment that helps us get this broadcast out here. We appreciate you tuning in here from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, and hope you'll tune in next week for more Fast Fridays action.